I've been paranoid since my last experience in the woods. I don't know exactly where to post this except here, hoping that writing it all out might help me get it off my chest. I'm not trying to make this sound dramatic. I just feel like I can't really talk about this to my family or my friends because they'll either laugh or tell me I'm reading too many scary stories online. So this feels like my only option to share it here, where maybe someone will believe me or at least listen. For some background, I'm a young woman living in the Ozarks. I've grown up around these hills and forests. My dad taught me how to hike and camp when I was little. And even when I got older and busy with life, I always made time to slip into the woods behind my yard. My yard just sort of melts into the woods. There's no real fence or anything, just a small old wooden gate that was probably here before I was even born. Once you step through it, you're on a trail that winds deeper into the trees. I've always loved that. I liked that my home felt like it bled into nature. It always made me feel safe somehow. My friends used to say they were creeped out by how thick and wild the trees looked at night, but I never felt that way. I'd sit on my porch at night and listen to the owls or watch fireflies flicker between the branches. It made me feel calm when nothing else did. I know there's folklore around here. You hear old stories at church potlucks or at the gas station when some older folks get talking. Weird lights, whispers at night, hunters seeing things they can't explain. But I never really believed any of it. Or maybe I did, but it was the kind of belief that feels distant. Like reading about ghosts in a book, but not really expecting to see one standing at the foot of your bed. I don't know exactly when things started to feel off. Maybe it was a few weeks ago, but the day that sticks out was a Wednesday. I remember because I'd just finished work early. I work from home, and sometimes after staring at my laptop for hours, I need to stretch my legs and get out. It was late afternoon, maybe 3 or 4. It was bright, but kind of overcast the way it gets when you know rain might come, but you can't tell when. I grabbed my old backpack, filled up my water bottle, and told myself I'd just walk for 30 minutes. I wasn't planning anything big. I slipped through the gate and started down the trail. The path was soft with old leaves and pine needles. I like that smell, damp dirt, old wood, green things. It makes me feel like I'm 5 again, running barefoot behind my dad as he pointed out deer tracks and tiny wildflowers I'd never see on my own. But that day, the minute I stepped into the trees, I felt something weird in my chest. Not pain, more like a tightness. Like I'd walked into a room where people were fighting and you could feel it in the air even if no one was talking. I paused for a second. I even looked back at my house, the roof peeking through the branches behind me. I told myself I was being silly. It's normal, I thought. Maybe I was just tired. I kept walking. The birds were singing, but every now and then they'd go quiet, and I'd swear I could hear something moving just a bit off the trail. Not footsteps exactly, more like a soft rustling, like something brushing past bushes or twigs cracking under weight. Every time I turned around, there was nothing. I even called out once just a hello, feeling dumb the second the word left my mouth. Who was I expecting? A neighbor? A stray dog? Maybe a deer? I tried to convince myself it was a deer. About 15 minutes in, I reached the old deer stand. It's been there forever. I didn't put it up, but I've used it a lot. It's just a metal ladder strapped to a thick oak tree, leading up to a little wooden platform big enough for one person to sit. I like to climb up there sometimes, just to sit and listen to the woods from above. Everything feels smaller when you're up there, like you're hidden. Safe. I told myself if I climbed up, maybe the weird feeling would go away. So I did. I stepped carefully up the ladder, rung by rung. The metal felt cold under my palms. When I got to the top, I sat down and leaned my head back against the trunk. I could see patches of sky through the branches. The wind made the leaves shiver. I tried to focus on that, on the way the air smelled, on the birds. That's when I heard it, the tapping. At first I thought it was woodpeckers. We have them here, and sometimes they hammer away at trees so fast it almost sounds like knocking. But this wasn't like that, it was slower. Tap, 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 then silence, then tap again. I shifted my legs, trying to see where it was coming from. It sounded close, too close, like it was right below me. I leaned over the edge of the platform and peered down the ladder. Nothing. Just the trunk and the ground, scattered with dead leaves. I told myself maybe it was just the wind knocking a branch against the ladder, but I couldn't see any branches touching it. The tapping kept going. It would stop for a few seconds, then start up again. Tap, 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 tap. I held my breath at one point, trying to listen for anything else, but all I could hear was my heartbeat in my ears. I don't know how long I sat there. 5 minutes, 10? It felt longer. I didn't want to climb down. I was scared that if I looked away, whatever it was might do something. I don't even know what I thought it would do. I just knew my gut was telling me to stay put. Finally, I couldn't take it. I grabbed the side rails and climbed down fast, boots slipping on one rung so hard my knee scraped the metal. When I hit the ground, I turned in a slow circle, expecting to see something, an animal, a person, anything. But there was nothing. Just the same empty trail, the same trees, still and quiet. I didn't waste time. I started back toward my gate, trying to walk fast but not run. I didn't want to look like prey, if that makes sense. I've read that somewhere don't run in the woods if you feel stalked. I don't know if that's true or not. I just kept my eyes ahead, my ears straining for every sound. About halfway back, I heard it off in a branch snapping. Not a small twig either. Something big enough to make a sharp, loud crack that echoed through the trees. I spun around so fast I nearly tripped. Again, nothing. Just the wind moving through the leaves. I broke. I couldn't help it. I ran. I know you're not supposed to run, but I did. My boots thumped against the trail. I swear I could feel something behind me, even though I didn't hear any footsteps. I don't know how to explain it, just that cold feeling like someone's shadow was right at my back. When I pushed through the gate and stepped into my yard, I felt like I could breathe again. I didn't even stop to look back. I just walked fast to my porch, unlocked my back door, and slammed it shut behind me. I stood there for a second, trying to listen. Nothing. Just the hum of my fridge and the faint sound of my neighbor's dog barking 2 houses over. I thought that would be it. Just a weird moment, maybe a coyote or some raccoon playing tricks on me. But that night, I dreamed about the woods. I dreamed I was back on the trail, except it was darker than I'd ever seen it. The trees looked wrong, taller, thicker, leaning in toward me. I was running in the dream, but it felt like I was stuck in mud. I could hear something chasing me. I couldn't see it, but I knew it was there. Big, heavy, breathing so loud it filled my head. When I woke up, my sheets were tangled around my legs and I was sweating like I'd been running for real. I turned on my bedside lamp and sat there for a long time, just listening to my own house creak and settle. I told myself it was just a nightmare. I have them sometimes, stress dreams where I'm late for something, or I'm trapped somewhere. But this felt different. It clung to me the next day like cobwebs I couldn't shake off. I haven't gone back into the woods since. I keep telling myself I will, that I need to get over it. I don't want to feel scared of my own backyard. But every time I stand at the gate and look past it, I feel that same tightness in my chest. I keep hearing that tapping in my head, slow, patient, like someone waiting for me to come back. I know this probably sounds dumb to some people. Maybe it was nothing. Maybe it was an animal or just my mind playing tricks on me because I've read too many creepy stories. But I can't stop thinking about it. What if it wasn't just the wind? What if something was really there, waiting in the shadows just far enough that I couldn't see it? I don't know what to do with that thought, so here I am, writing it down for strangers. Maybe someone has heard something like this before. Maybe it'll help me sleep if I see that I'm not the only one who's felt something in the woods that shouldn't be there. Or maybe I'll read this tomorrow and feel stupid and delete it. I don't know. All I know is that since that day, every night when I lie in bed, I listen. I listen for tapping. I listen for branches breaking. I keep telling myself that I'm safe inside my house, that nothing can get me here. But sometimes in the quiet, I wonder if maybe it's not about getting in. Maybe it's about waiting until I step back out.